Okay, Miral. Hello.
Yes, I'm here. I be here.
Okay, okay. So, so you were not there for the last couple of times. So, is there anything you want to say?
No.
Okay, Mary.
Um, it's been a little bit of time. I missed the class. Let's see. I'm ready to get back into it. I've been having a lot going on in my family life, so I've been very busy with my various adult children, 18, 19 years old. So it's been
Interesting age.
yeah, busy.
Busy. Okay. But anyway, last time we did not have the class. You could not join. But Miral had a problem there in Hungary, and therefore we decided to not do it.
Yes.
So we, whatever we did collectively 2 weeks back, 2 sessions back, is where we are today. So um, unless you have practiced something and you want to share something.
Are you talking to Mirel?
No, I'm talking to you. I mean, Miral already said nothing to say, so I'm
Oh,
talking.
okay. Well, no, there's lots going on for me. I mean, in terms of my introspective life, but I'm willing, I think, did we stop at Maitri Karuna? Is that the last sutra we did? Are we doing the sutra?
Uh, I may do a kind of a recap because Miral was not there. So I will probably give a quick recap up to 30. So we did up to 30.
30?
Yeah.
1.130?
No, no, no. We did up to 30. For until 44 we did up to 144.
Well,
One,
we did I think we did with Maitri Karuna Mudita Pikshana, 133. Is
one.
that the last one we did, or did we go beyond that?
Oh, we did beyond that.
Oh, okay.
But okay, that means I will do a recap for everybody's benefit. Okay. Not an issue. Okay, Manjula, do you have anything to say?
No, Paddy, I think, yeah, once you do a recap, we can recollect few points from there.
Okay, okay,
It's
okay.
been a while, even I missed a few sessions.
Okay. Sure, sure. Okay. Um, okay. So for today, you can see the picture behind me. This picture is about Ramana Maharishi's. I don't know whether all of you have heard about it. Um, yeah. So he, as you see him, when he was a teenager, he just walked out of his home. He had some probably less than $1 in his pocket and started walking about maybe 100 miles or so to a hill called um, Tiruvannamalai Hills in Tamil Nadu, southern state of India. He just walked there and went to the temple there, Shiva temple, and took off his clothes, threw it in the water, took the dress what he is wearing, and that one less than $1 what he had in his pocket, threw that also in the pond, and just went to the temple and sat there in meditation. And then he used to simply sit there. In the evening, people used to get worried. The gods used to scare him away and things like that. But he used to come every day, sit in a corner, deep corner with ants and other insects crawling all over him. But he used to be in deep samadhi state. And kind of people, first thing people do is to think that you're mad. So people used to think he was mad and almost they drove him away. And then he went to the hills. And in one of the caves, which you see on that photo with the green background, he sat there, and then of course the whole thing changed. Days together, months together, he used to sit there, and walkers by used to notice him, offer him some fruits to eat and things like that. He was because he never ventured out to eat, and slowly his fame spread, and people started coming and things like that. But he was rarely talking. He wasn't talking at all. He wouldn't say advice. He won't teach anything. He won't advise anything. He would simply sit there. But he was radiating such a wisdom in his face. People started coming, in fact, from all over the world. People started coming as they heard about him. Um, his method, and then obviously when a lot of people keep coming out, he started teaching, but his teaching was that honestly, there's nothing much to do, frankly. That is the whole method. Stop doing what you're doing. When you say stop doing what you're doing, including associating yourself with the emotions and thoughts which go through the mind. That is what is called stop doing so, not sitting in a corner. That's not the idea. The idea is to disassociate yourself from all the intense activity which happens in the body, through the body, in the mind, in the intellect, in the emotional side. Disassociating yourself. That is the basis of a real deep inquiry, because when you do that, you will start an inward journey and then disconnect your senses and intellect also a sense, from the external world, draw it back as it were, put it in an English language, draw it back and let it shine internally on your real identity. That's the way to find out who you really are. Observe your thought, automatically thoughts will vanish. Try to suppress the thought, thoughts will multiply. That is his formula. So, I mean, it's more of a abstract and analytical approach, and analyzing yourself approach, frankly speaking. But then his mere countenance, his appearance, the way he lived itself was a stunning experience for everybody, and people used to throng to him. Then later, when he was a little older, etc., when he was 23, 24, or whatever, his mother found out that the teenager who went away is there. So she came running. And obviously, as a liberated person, he showed no emotion. He was very respectful to her, but he was not getting, shall we say, emotionally involved with that, her crying and all the stuff. And she said, if you don't want to come to me, I will not go. I will sit here. Just as you are not driving away other people who are sitting in front of you, you should not drive me away either. So he didn't say anything. So she started sitting with him, and slowly his brother also tried to come, and a number of people pursued. He never went away, and they understood that he is not coming. So they also became one of his devotees, and they were just hanging around, and people built a shed under him. And you know what happens to a famous guru? It happened to him also. Initially, people built a shed, small thatched roof, and then he became a bigger one. The granite stuff, the stone, the beautiful thing, everything started happening. And particularly after he passed away, they almost, when somebody passes away, the only thing you have, only thing you can cherish is your idea of the person. You cannot cherish the person per se. You can only cherish the idea of your person. And many times, your idea of an object is very different from the object itself. That is very, very important point. So to some extent, people who call themselves Puritans, etc., would feel that the very idea of building a temple kind of a structure for him and everybody coming, celebrating his birthday or his death day and things like that is completely opposite to what he really did. Okay, he just walked away. His whole idea was all the notions that you have, whatever the notion, it's not about bad notion, good notion, whatever notion you have about the external world or the life around you, etc., is artificially constructed by you, either by your own desires, your own aversions, or under the pressure of social norms. And therefore, you have to dismantle everything. That was his approach. In which case, the very notion of temple, ashram, people coming, identifying special good days, bad days, celebrating in a particular way, all these things are notions only. But then the problem is, from which standpoint do you look at is the question. If you are going to look from his point of view, which is a liberated soul's point of view, all these things are meaningless. But in as much as you're bound, quote unquote, you're not liberated. All these notions are great importance to you because your normal life stands on, depends on these notions. You cannot dismantle a material construct, the concept of money, the concept of buying things, concept of enjoying, concept of relationship as a spouse or a father, mother, children, brother, etc. You need all those concepts, these notions, otherwise you cannot relate, right? Therefore, from the standpoint of all the people who are still stuck in this kind of a model, these things are very, very important. That's what goes on. The most important thing, I'm very sure as we go move further and further in this Patanjali Yoga Sutra, I am very sure somewhere he will say something like this. The most important thing is what we normally declare as good is as bad as what we declare as good, bad. That's very, very important to understand, right? The whole idea is to keep a mental state which neither likes something nor dislikes something. That's very, very important. That is, I think many times I keep saying unburden yourself is a statement I keep saying. That is very, very important. Anyway, we'll see how it goes. As a recap, let me see. Let me bring out that. Let me see whether I can share this document. Last time I tried to share, it didn't go very well. Let me see. Share screen. Start sharing. Are you able to see? Yeah? I'm not hearing anybody.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good, good. Is it big enough for you guys?
It's okay.
Now?
Yes, it is fine.
It is fine. Mary, you're able to see? Hello? Manjula, are you able to see?
Yes. I think I increased the font from this side.
Okay.
Now it's better. Yeah.
Okay, okay, okay. I think we were talking at if I have to go back to a point where probably all of us recall is a Narayana Suktam we talked about, where you can see Narayana as a form of a blue flame sparkling like a lightning in the heart, etc. You recall that? Do you
Yes.
recall those things?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
good, good. So that means we know this much we are done. That is Vitaraga Vishayava Chittam, or meditating on the heart of an eliminated soul, 37. We did that, right? In fact, we Vishokava Jyotishmati, I think 36.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
That is where I departed and said, what is this Jyotishmati? What is that flame? And connected with it. Yeah, correct. Okay, you can say it.
I can't see you. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, something's wrong.
You can see?
No, I can't see anybody now. I used to see you, but I can't see you now. But I'll just listen.
That's okay, but are you able to see this text?
Okay, what happened was I tried to enlarge it and then I got cut out. So I got back in, but now I don't see anything. So I have my iPhone because my son is using my computer because he has an SAT tutoring class. So
Okay.
that's why I'm using my phone. Yeah.
All right. So,
Okay.
all right. So Miral is able to see?
Yes.
Manjula is able to see? Okay. So that is where we departed and said, what is the Jyotishmati? What is that? And then connected with the Vedic sloka of Narayana Sukta, which defines who is that Narayana, how to see in the heart. This is what we talked about. And then I continued and talked about you can also, there are several ways, like Ramana Maharishi said, you just observe your thoughts and slowly thought will go away and slowly you will recognize your true identity. There are several methods. So one of the methods is meditating as a form of flame at the spiritual heart here. Swapna Nidra Jnanam Balamba. That is fixing the mind on the dream experience. You follow the dreams, you follow the dream itself. Because I'll show this chart. I mean, don't see the text here. See the diagram on the right hand side. Are you able to see?
Yes.
Yeah. So what happens is we are the waker. Waker means people who are in the waking state. We are all the dreamer because we dream, and then we are in the deep sleep. What happens in the three states of consciousness? Waking state, like right now we are all in the waking state. Then the dreamer state, we go to sleep. Sometimes most of the time we dream also. And sometimes you don't even dream. That is called the sleeper state here. You can see that in the waker state, you can see all the arrow marks going outward. All the sense organs, ego, mind, intellect, everything is going out, external concepts. Like I was saying a few minutes back, all the external constructs we have to do in day-to-day living. But when you're in a sleeping state, when you have dreams, but what happens is we are not dealing with external world because we are sleeping, lying on a bed and sleeping. That means, and yet there is a world which we see, actions take place, objects are there, so many activities are there, emotions run high, so on and so forth, and therefore all the senses, mind, ego, and intellect is turned internal into our own body, and everything happens there. In the third thing is obviously all these things subside and there is not even a dream. That is the third state, the sleeper state. Deep sleep, it is real technically, it's called the deep sleep state. Waker state is called the Jagrat. The dreamer state is called Swapna. And the sleeper state, deep sleep state is called Sushupti state. So the point is how these senses are shifted from outside to inside. So that is the connection you can see here by saying Swapna, Nidra, Jnana, Alambanam. That is what happens in Swapna is the dreaming state, Nidra, Jnana, state, deep sleep state. What happens? You can follow that itself. Why? Because whether you are in the waking state or a dreaming state or in the deep sleep state, your true identity is the only identity which moves here and there everywhere, outward, inward, etc. So if you follow these actions, whatever is happening in the waking state, dream state, dreamless state, you can still reach to the same point. Or Yata Abhimata Dhyanadva 39. You can meditate on an object. Example, it can be a form, an idol, a picture, or a song, or a sound, so on and so forth. Right? Then it goes on to say, I will skip 40, quickly I'll say, the 41 is very important. Citta Vrutii Abhijatasya eva maner grahatir grahana graheshu tatastha. That means just as you take a crystal, crystal has no color. Any crystal you take has no color. But if you take the crystal on a, let us say, red colored cloth, it looks red. If you put it on a blue color cloth, it looks blue. Right? That is the nature of the crystal. Just as a crystal assumes the color which is presented to it, so also your mind assumes the object on which you are You are meditating. Yeah. Tatastha jnanata samapattihi. That the same way, the mind assumes the same form. That is the purpose of meditating on a particular object. Therefore, that then we'll come back to 40 and says, Paramanu Parama Mahatva Anto Asya Vasikaraha. Therefore, we talked about meditating on a flame in the heart. We said you can follow your waking state thoughts, you can follow your dream, you can follow your deep sleep state, or you can fix your mind on in an object, which is an idol or portrait or idea or a sound, etc. That means you can think of anything between atomic size to biggest size, whichever it is. The yogi has one way to look at it is yogi has an ability to do that. Another way of looking at it is a yogi can do any of this depending upon your mental state, your current status of existence in the spiritual path. Based on that, it's called the Vasana tendency. You like certain things. That's why that's where you start with. Therefore, you can follow any of this. And when you do this kind of deep meditation, what happens? Two things are possible. Either Savitarka Samapatti you can have, or Nirvitarka Samapatti you can have. That is 42 and 43. Tatra Sabdha. Yeah. I'm sorry. Did anybody
Sorry,
say?
no, nothing. No, I'm
Okay.
sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tatra Sabdhartha Jnana Vikalpa Savitarka Sankirna Savitarka Samapatti. If you have a well-defined object, be an idol or a portrait or an image or something, then you get into a samadhi state, mental completely absorbed. You have no other thought other than the object on which you are meditating. That is called Savitarka Samadhi. On the other hand, if you're focusing um, on something which does not have an attribute, like a shape, size, color, etc., then it is called Nirvitarka Samadhi. Smriti Parishuddhau Swarupa Shunyeva, without any definition, Arthamatra Nirbhasa. That means only the essence is there. You don't have an attribute, in which case it is called Nirvitarka Samapati or Samadhi. Yeah. That is the summary of whatever we said the other day. So far, this is what we talked about in the last few sessions. Any questions on that?
Yeah, I think it takes a very, very serious and a very long and involved meditation practice to just even get near to this. And also, I think that I think a meditator, when it gets to the point, like probably there are techniques for this, which one has to follow very strictly and every day and all the time. And also, I think when someone starts to see small things, not large things, that's when someone really can get inside, uh, how should I say, the body or things. And that's when the real meditation can begin, I feel. I don't know, I'm just guessing.
Okay. Any other comment from anybody else?
This has to be very, very seriously studied.
Practiced, yes.
And practiced, yes.
This comes only out of practice.
Yes.
Like, all theory is fine because depending upon our respective experiences, our way of thinking, and our vocabulary, we will all explain it different ways. But when you start practicing, all of us will converge and get the same or similar experience. Any comment from Manjula?
Yeah, I had a question. It could be a stupid question, but this meditative state, right? We go into some form of meditation, like it could be object-based or sound-based. Can it be carried over to our sleep state or dream state? What are the three states? So it be transferred? Like, can we carry over
Yes.
different
Good.
states?
Yeah. Yes. Good question. Actually speaking, it's a very, very interesting question. The answer is, of course, yes. Well, how and why? Why? Because whether it is a waking state or dreaming state or a dreamless state, the observer is same. That's our true identity. That doesn't change. Therefore, the observer has a potential and possibility of transforming everything to all the three states. If we postulate and we agree, the dream is nothing but our anxiety and aspirations and expectations taking the form and playing. If we agree to this definition of what happens in dream, which even science corroborates, there is nothing to prevent this meditative method which you follow in moving into dreams, into sleeping state, dream or no dream. In simple language, if I have to rephrase my answer, if you can meditate well in the waking state, you can meditate well in dreaming state as well. In fact, as you keep doing, I know you may have had this experience, some of you, as you keep practicing meditation for a long time, many times you will see even the dream you're meditating. And in fact, some of the interesting experiences which you can get is in the dream, you will be meditating, and in your spiritual heart of you in the dream, you can see the object of your worship or meditation. Most interesting thing in dream is, in as much as you can see many things, you cannot see yourself at all. You only know you exist, but you don't see yourself. And yet, you can dream. Listen to this carefully. This is a multi-layer definitions. You can dream that you are sleeping and dreaming. And in that dream, that is the second dream, a dream within the dream, you can start seeing things happen. So these are all very interesting experiences which will teach you how we are structured as a psyche, number one, and how we have a common element in ourselves, which is the observer in all the three states, that is the waking state, dream state, as well as dreamless state. You get a practical experience of it. Again, if I have to go back, Swapna Nidra Jnana Alambanam 38. This is, you really see this happening. Therefore, answer is yes, it is possible. And it happens.
Yeah, that probably needs a lot of practice.
I mean, like I said, the idea is not to seek it. Things happen by themselves.
Correct. Yeah, I understand that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't go seeking to be in that dream state or to meditate in that dream state. It just happens. Yeah.
Sure. Exactly.
Yeah, thank you, Patty.
Yeah. Mary, anything from you?
Well, what comes to me is that I'll speak for myself. Let's see. It's an either or, not both. So either like Ramana Maharishi, I can't be in life and I just go in the cave, or I'm in life and I'm taken by, my attention is taken by whatever happens here or there. I can be negative. So the question is, which I have no intention of not being in life. seen is that my life is so very full and people depend on me. And I think I've said this before, but so how can I be in the cave in my life?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it calls me, I feel it, but it's like, oh, later. Or how can I now in this moment when there's so much going on and there might be anger, there might be resentment, there could be negative feelings. But so how can I just go deeper and into the real and let all that drop away in the moment
Are
and
you
be in that state?
are you able to see me now?
I can't see anybody. Something happened, but I can hear you and I can hear myself with an echo. Oh,
Okay.
there, I see.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Okay, I stopped sharing
Yes.
because talking about specific thing, I thought it's better to see each other.
Okay.
I think this is a constant theme you have, right? You know, like Miral wants to go to Himalayas, you also want to go to Tiruvannamalai, maybe. Um, I whether you will eventually go to like Ramana Maharishi to an ashram there, whether Mira will go to Himalayas, I don't know. I have no idea. It all depends upon, as we say, Ishvara Icha, the will of Ishvara. The, the Ishvara decides what will be your destination or even the interim destinations, not randomly based on the trajectory which you have built yourself over several lives of efforts. Based on that trajectory, it takes you there. So, honest answer is I don't know whether you will ever go to the Tiruvannamalai cave, as it were. But what I know is 100% sure is that cave will come to you. That I'm 100% sure. Accepting that cave may not look like made of rocks in an isolated mountain, small hillock in southern part of India with hot and humid climate, with very little material comforts. It may not be that cave. It may not look like that. But that cave could be and probably will be, at least at this moment, is made of all your children, your husband, your friend. They are the rock and stone and pebble which make the cave. Many times, what I feel is, but this is my view, okay, my experience I'm telling. May not be right, may not be valid for you either, but I'm sharing this. Many times I get a feeling I'm really in a forest. As we speak, also I feel I'm in a forest. It is our notion to define forests are made of trees and leaves and insects and animals running. At an abstract level, at a meta level, what does forest mean? Why, when people say I'm going to, in fact, in the third stage of human life, our Indian thought process recommends what is called the vanaprastha, or going to forest. What does it mean? The implication is not physical definition of a forest, because think some 100,000 years, 200,000 years, 500,000 years back, when all these things were talked about, almost all the world was full of plants for forests only, right? One need not have to travel 500 miles to see a lake or a pond or a tree, right? Forest, wood. Whole world is full of, because the population was hardly 10 million, 20 million, the whole world. Imagine that way. That means the upper hand was with animals and plants, etc. The human form had a lower hand. That means anywhere they look, they should have been forest, as what we call as forest today. Anywhere they look at, they would have seen forest. In which case, what is this forest? Going to forest, vanaprastha mean? There is another, shall we say, thing I want to tell from Ramayana story, where Rama decides to go to forest. however much all his relatives beg and etc., he goes to forest. He jumps on, changes his dress, gets on his chariot and goes. And after some time, he gets down and starts walking. And all the story is over after beseeching, requesting him, and finally giving up, and all the people walking back to their capital city of Ayodhya. All that is over in a few hours. That only proves the forest was, and mind you, if you are a very much a loud leader, like Rama, if Prince was loved by each and every citizen of the place, they won't let you move even 1 inch. They'll be mobbing, circling around, begging you, fall at his feet. Therefore, though he may be on a chariot, he may be traveling probably 1 foot per hour. Because everybody will be circling, begging him not to go. In which case, in a few hours, if you reach the forest, what does it mean? Therefore, when people are living in the midst of the forest, why did they coin the term Vanaprastha, going to forest? It only means mentally detaching yourselves from what you call as a city life. Mentally detaching yourself from living in a palace. Mentally detaching yourself from living in the midst of your friends and relatives. That is called Vanaprastha. In fact, in Vedas and Upanishads, there are many stories they tell in which even the yogis, even the sannyasis who give up everything like Ramana Maharishi and go sit in a so-called forest, even they struggle to understand concepts. And do you know where they go to help for guidance? They go to a king. There is a king called Janaka, which appears in many, many stories. May not be the one same person. But the notion, the idea is when great scholars, great rishis, great yogis have difficulty in grappling the concept, they go to this guy and he tests them. Many stories come here, he tests them first before he explains the details, the abstract concepts. The idea being, if you are able to be as a king, ruling a country, living in a palace, and still you're able to transcend all these definitions, hurdles which come your way, you're far superior. So whether the Tiruvannamalai Ramana Maharishi cave, whether you will be able to go and sit there physically, I don't know. But the cave can come to you. That much I can tell. That is one way of looking at it. Thus, an elaboration I will give now, which I kindly forgive me if it is a little harsh. Many times I think I mentioned it last time also. Many times you want these things because we have already artificially, justifiably too. I'm not saying unjustifiably, but artificially, we have created a definition. The people who are sitting in an ashram or a cave are far superior and therefore respect worthy. People go there. If you tell the same thing, if you have the same experience, if you teach the same thing, nobody comes to you. Because they look at you as a housewife or a husband working in a company. They don't look at you as right? Because of the artificially constructed model, we know that even if you have the same or higher level of mental evolution, nobody will notice. Therefore, at least sometimes, at least some of us fall prey to the egoistic expectation to be respected and recognized by others. Therefore, we want to be there. Not because that is the right method or right thing for us, but because that will get us some, appeal. We want that. We even crave for that appeal. This is again my personal experience and opinion, need not be valid for everybody. I have interacted quite a few with people like these Swamis and yogis, etc. Many of them have this problem I have seen. Right? Most important thing is destroy all these notions. There's no need. On the one hand, you need not need respect and that egoistic feeling. But that's not the only problem. Many times we fall prey to the opposite end of the spectrum. Humility is a problem. As much as pride is a problem, humility is a problem. In the sense that we want to be seen humble by ourselves to start with, and then we want to be seen humble by others. And therefore, this drives our decision many times. People say even in conversations, and I don't know, am I nobody, it's called false models, as the people say. Come to the point, tell me what you want to say. Instead, they know, what, I don't know much, I am nobody in front of you. All that is fine. What are you saying? Because ultimate analysis, whether I am better than you or whether I'm inferior to you, doesn't mean anything to you as much as what I say. Not honestly speaking, what I do is also not as important as what I say, because from your point of view, it doesn't matter whatever I am. Is there any spark or idea or guidance which can come from this person which is aligned to my thinking, which can help me, is the only point relevant. Right?
Yeah.
I don't think you're happy with the answer.
Well, no, I just it struck me that it's not, there's not an egotistic thing involved in the sense that, oh, I want to be seen, and it's a hunger that's coming from deep within, that's a need. And then I also realized that if the need is so strong, then a way will be found.
A way will be found for reaching you the knowledge and wisdom which you need. Yes.
Yeah.
But not necessarily through the cave in Tiruvannamalai. That's all I'm still harping on the same point.
No,
Yeah.
not necessarily, but it's still a fantasy from, way back. Still there. It's still there. And it's still, I still say, oh, if only I could. Then I continue with life.
No, I agree with you. I totally agree. See, I should not be hypocrite. Yes, I went to so many ashrams myself. I spent a lot of time with various Swamijis and gurus, etc. I really enjoyed my stay whenever I used to go, even for 2 days, 3 day trips. It was so fine. I'm not denying any of those things. But after having done all those things, the realization is thronging there doesn't really solve anything, doesn't help. It doesn't. Thousands of people come and see him every day, right? Only one or two of the thousands of people really start climbing further up. And many times, how to say this? Really, the guru or the cave or whatever you call, which you cherish, will come to you. Guarantee I'm giving. In a most unexpected, dramatic way, it comes to you. But of course, yes, once in a lifetime, whichever ashram you want to go, you should go once. I don't deny that. It is definitely, it's a pilgrimage, right? It has got its own role to play. I totally accept that. We go to holy places. Pilgrimage is very important in Indian model, where you keep on visiting. Because associating with right kind of people, similar, I won't say you're right or wrong, similar kind of people, similar places, which reinforces your effort, is very smart. Anybody would accept that's the right thing to do. From that context, going to such people, going to what is called satsangs or groups where people talk like this, it's very important. But understand that itself is a notion. So when this, I may not be telling this in some other conversation. I'm telling this because you people are studying Patanjali Yoga Sutra, right? You're not listening a Purana, right? then I won't be telling these things. If your mental makeup, yeah, is such that you're willing to grapple with the concepts thrown at the by the Patanjali Yoga Sutra, we have to talk this, right? I'll try to share the screen again so that I'll able to see.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. So there is no other way, right? Anyway, just I pray that either you go to Tiruvannamalai or Tiruvannamalai comes to you as soon as possible. We will leave it at that. Yeah. So anybody read 45, please, for me? Everybody reading? Chanting for me?
Hello?
Hello? Can you chant 45?
Which one? 45?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I got cut out again.
Okay.
Sukshma vishayatvam cha alinga paryavasanam.
Sukma Vishayatvam Cha Alinga Parya Vasanam. What does it mean? Sukshma means very fine. It's a gross, there is fine, right? In other words, what is called as immediate cause and a root cause. Sukshma Vishayatvam means a root cause, not what gross thing is in front of you. Alinga means it does not have a linga means a specific form, shape, etc. It's called linga. Alinga means it does not have it. Therefore, in all these things, there is a very, very fine, non-gross cause, which is the prakriti of our nature. Like I said, depending upon how our psyche is constituted, our actions, our progress, everything will be dependent on that. And Ishvara will decide where he will go next, based if design the trajectory for it. Then 46, please.
Wait, Master Rao, I don't have, so in the book here, it says, how subtle can an object be? What is the limit?
Can you read again, please?
Yes, if you could just elaborate on this a little bit more on the 45.
No. You said you said you're reading that book, right? Or
Yes, in our book, what we have, the Yoga Sutra Liberating Isolation. That's the name of our sutra book. And
what does it say?
is it saying that in this domain, introspection goes to its farthest possible limit with alinga, the pre-matter or primary, uninvolved matter, the non-differentiated, a state where the characteristic of nature, gunas, are still in perfect balance. It is the non-manifested source of essential matter.
Right.
The root.
Yeah, go ahead.
The root matter, mula prakriti, in the state prior to evolution, prior to the Big Bang. So is this a state before enlightenment? Is that what this is saying?
Before?
Before, I don't know what word to use. Prior to Big Bang would be.
No. I mean, right now, see, the point is, that's why I try to keep the words minimum here. Here, the focus is on Citta Vrutii. That is, as an individual entity, whatever is happening to us, our psyche, that's what it is talked about. But what happens individually mirrors at macroscopic level the universe. That's why you're probably connecting into Big Bang and all the stuff. But the case I am building up is stay focused on as a limited entity like individual jiva, us. Whatever is happening to our mind, whatever is happening to our chitta, and deal with that. Therefore, here the prakriti is not to be taken in the context of our conversation to the grand scale nature of the universe, but the nature of the individual entity, each one of us as a jiva, which is defined by the proportion of the three gunas which we have. We all have different composition. Therefore, we are all different people. That is what is the prakriti which we are talking about here when we say sukshma vishayatvam cha alinga. That is what we are going to talk about. Why? Because we talked about, in prior to these slokas, we talked about how we can follow, meditate on a, flame in the chest or a object, defined object, a sound, undefined object with characteristics and without characteristics, and attain to different types of samadhi. So we have been talking about our any individual jiva's attempts, progress, and the destination it reaches. Therefore, that is why I like to keep it as a prakriti means individual nature.
May I ask another question, please?
See,
I would like to ask that. So, when I meditate, I can see very far, and I can have see distance. But I would like to possibly change my meditation practice when I go to the subtle. So, how could I change, or what should I do as a technique in meditation when I can change this? And I don't, look at the distance far out. When I can go close and go in, and smaller, 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 smaller. How could I do that, Mr. Rao?
okay. I will give a very, very short answer. Elaboration I will do later because we have to cover a few steps
Yes.
before we get there. So, but since you asked the question, I'll give you a short answer. Frankly speaking, you need not even attempt to become meditate so that your mind goes far away or atomic. You don't have to. I would even go to the point of saying you should not even try to. It'll happen by itself at different times. Why do I do that? Why do I say that? If the starting point of this entire book, the starting point of the entire, shall we say, methodology is Yogascha Citta Vrutii Nirodha is the very first statement. That's a starting opening game statement.
Yes.
If the objective of the exercise is to sublimate Citta Vrutii, you cannot start with a Citta Vrutii which says I want to be atomic or I want to be big. That is Citta Vrutii by itself.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Therefore, you should not even go there. Then why are they giving all these details? You can be atomic, all those things you're telling for as an object of meditation. They're telling because just now we said in 45, yeah, Prakriti is the primary, that is the reason. Your nature, your tendency, accumulative vasanas, etc. the reason. It takes you, some people natural preponderance to go towards in one direction, others in another direction. But all are valid. That is why they explain multiple different things. You should not have that as an objective. That's number one. Number two, the detailed answer will come later because as you progress in meditation, several things happen. You develop several quote unquote power, ability to become very big or very small. So when you say, I am traveling so far away, what it means is your consciousness is expanded to a very large distance. So your consciousness is not just in your well-defined entity called mirror, but it's far out there. You can see the entire universe actually in meditation. As if you can not only see that you can see the universe, you can feel you are the universe because your consciousness expands so much. On the other hand, the consciousness can completely withdraw into such a small level, right? Like we talked about in Narayana Sutta also we define, in between Adam's apple and the navel, in the spiritual heart, in the blue inverted blue lotus, like a thumb, and like they, figuratively explain the size, right? Suddenly, when you draw your consciousness to such a tiny atomic level, you feel that you are an atom.
Yes, the reason I asked Mr. Rao because, I didn't know how it happened that, I can go out so far. The reason I just asked because I wasn't sure if there are techniques for this or is this what it is teaching. And I always thought that if a person would be able to go small and to the subtle things, then can first of all hear themselves, like the body inside, hear the body inside for health, and perhaps work with other people as a teacher, and maybe I don't know. I cannot change other people's life, but who knows? Maybe I can do something which could help other people as well. So I always thought that the subtle, because our body, we can go into the molecules and change, just help move it alone, or I don't know how to say it, just to help.
Okay, understood. So let me respond this way. These are all the ability which you get over as an advanced yogi. That's why I said we'll talk later because there's a chapter about this, about various powers you get, etc. But the point is, once again, why should you and what authority do you have to use this power to get into somebody's molecule level and help others? Who gave you the
My own body first. I'm getting old, but that you're right. I understand your point. Absolutely, you're absolutely right.
that is a very egoistic thing.
Yes, I understand. Thank you so much.
Yes.
I understand.
In fact, that's what the caution will come when the chapter comes. The caution will come that why, in as much as you get all this ability and power,
Yes.
want to exercise even for doing so-called good is wrong.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Anything else? Any other question? So let's go to 46 then. Hello? Anybody wants to chant or shall I read it myself as a text?
Do you know how to chant this, Mary?
Ta eva sabija samadhi.
Very, very good. These are all done with is called sabija. It has got a germ of thought, a seed of thought. So it is called sabija samadhi. The next one is nirvichara.
Nirvichara vaisharadye adhyatma prasadaha.
Correct. This nirvichara samadhi, that is without any form, any of those things kind of a thing, happens because adhyatma prasadaha, because of the adhyatma regime that you follow, the spiritual regime which you follow, a good thought, good deed, good contact, good exercise, good yoga, so on and so, good meditation, etc. What happens is it becomes prasada means a gift which bears fruit because of all good practices. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Yeah. That's the whole point.
Mr. Rao, can I ask something about the 46 still?
Sure.
I'm reading this and I still don't get it totally. It's not clear. So it means it refers to 45 that, you know, like for this, so we have to have like an object for sure to meditate on, to able to get that, let me see what, uh, Mala Praktri, is that it? Am I understanding it right? So we have to have, you know, when we have an object of meditation, this kind of samadhi will come along.
Okay.
It's just so this is a meditation on the object, right?
Yes.
Okay. So that is an absolute must, right?
Which should be the absolute must? I didn't get the question.
Yeah, so we have to have an object to meditate, to able to.
Correct. That's what we read in the beginning of today's conversation.
Yes.
Several different ways we can pick up we can use different objects, and that is what I was trying to fortify, saying that why would you select particular object for meditation where I select something else? Because it is connected back to Prakriti, our individual nature. Sukshma Vishayatam cha Alinga. A very subtle way the Prakriti acts. That is why I choose one particular way, you choose different way.
Yes, now it's totally clear. Thank you so much.
Sure. Nirvichara. Why did you say? We finished that. Let's go to 40, 48, 40. I think now the number is gone somewhere. Okay. Shruta Anumana Prajna.
Ritambhara Tatra Pragnya.
You know which one we are talking about? Shruta Anumana.
Oh, that's 49.
Yeah, 49.
Oh, did we skip 48?
Yeah, I seem to have skipped 48. Yes.
Vritam.
I'll come back to 48 later. Next time I'll bring it back. 49.
Shrutanumana pragnabhyam anya vishaya visheshartatvat.
Correct. Shruta Anumana Prajna Abhyam. When you hear things, you learn by hearing. You can use Anumana, which is inference, right? You can study scriptures, right? All these practices will help you to achieve a particular kind of understanding and wisdom. But Anya Vishaya Vishesha Arthatvat. That means the experiential wisdom which you get due to the meditation driven samadhi experience is something which is very unique and special. Vishesha Arthatvat. That means very special. Some people may even interpret as higher order, superior, etc. But it definitely means something very special. Vishesha Arthatvat. Anya Vishaya. Anya means something different from what? Shruta Anumana Prajna Abhyam. This gives something different from what you get from hearing stuff, studying stuff, contemplating stuff. These are all steps involved in our spiritual effort, right? You hear about it, Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasa, we talk about. First hear about it, analyze it, debate it, think about it. These are all definitely valid steps in our progress. But when you get this Samadhi Anubhava, you get Vishesha Arthatvat, very special understanding you will get. Like for example, Miral talked about being far away, right? Consciousness going so far away. You read it? Some of us may analyze it. But when you really experience that, you know what she's talking about. Only then you know what she's talking about. Otherwise, it's a very theoretical stuff. Therefore, attaining this samadhi anubhava through the meditation is so important because it gives us a Visesha Artha, very special understanding. Yeah?
Can I ask a question here, Mr. Rao? So
Right?
this teaches like basically when we have a real, like we have a teacher, the teacher mentally will hand down with our words, through the mind knowledge. Is that it?
Yes, the teacher can tell you a theoretical understanding, number one. As a mentor, looking at your individual composition of mind, they may provide clarity in a particular way because the answer from a guru to a teacher, guru to a student is not same for all students. So it changes because guru judges what is your mental state, what your tendencies, what your vasana, etc. More importantly, a technique, you talk about technique, right? The technique which they adopt, which they give you will be different from the technique which gives others. Like in my younger days, when I went to the guru in Sringeri, we had a bunch of us, 10, 12 of us, all from engineering college. Each one of us given different methodology, different mantra, etc. Because the guru has that ability to judge each one of us where we have been in all our previous lives, where are we here today, and how ready we are to handle certain things.
Yes.
Therefore, but even then, even though the guru has made a very, very specific training tailor-made for you, it is still theoretical until we start practicing it and we start getting the benefits, the prasada. We talked about prasada, right? Somewhere on a couple of things where Adhyatma prasada in 47 we talked about, right? When that bears fruit as a gift, then only we get an understanding. That's what it means.
Yes. Can I share something here?
True, right?
So I have seen on YouTube long time ago. You always say that I wanted to go to the Himalayas, which is true. Um, um, but I also recognize that it's all up to me if I want to go or not, because I'm the master of my life. So if I really would want to go, not just to think about it, I would pack up and go. So, but I didn't go for many reasons, and but I did see something on YouTube, which was, I did see a master, like a yogi teaching his students, and they were just sitting. He carefully chosen two yogis, young students, and they were actually communicating without words, through mentally. So I always thought that, wow, that's the real practice. They really know. Sorry.
Yep, yep, of course. Yep. So, what is the meaning and purpose of this knowledge which you get, Vishesha Artatva? What do you get out of that? That is answered by number 50. Can you go ahead and chant 50, please?
Tajja samskaraha anya samskara pratibandhihi.
Exactly. Tajya samskaro. This experiences knowledge, wisdom which comes out of samadhi, anya samskara pratibandhi, which means it erases everything else. Samskara is, on the one hand, it is a bunch of activities which you perform as a duty. It is also means consequence to the actions which you have done so far. What is the tendencies which you have picked up? What this does is, once you get a samadhi anubhava, it is not a simple theoretical conceptual understanding, but in practical matters, what it does is anya samskara pratibandhi. It erases every samskara, every consequences, every tendency which you have built up, erases. Why is it important that it erases? Again, go back to the 45. Sukshma Vishayatam cha alim. The root cause is the composition of gunas which you have, which defines you as an individual entity. That is because of all the tendencies which you picked up in all your incarnations. And if that is the root cause for all your behavior, action, thought, word, and deed, If indeed we have to get liberated from all the mental models which are created, unless those tendencies are eliminated, after the samadhi, you will come back to the same point. You'll do the same thing. Therefore, it is propositioned in this sutra that samadhi anubhava erases. Whether it erases 100% or not, probably not. Every samadhi anubhava removes something and removes something and removes something. And over a period of time, you eliminate residual tendencies. In other words, it explains what happens. Logically, why I'm saying logically is because it started with the statement, yogascha chitta vritti nirodha. And it always connects it to the chitta vritti point in every step of the way. It tells us a technique. Meditate on an object. It could be anything depending upon your vasanas or tendencies. And if you meditate, you will get a samadhi anubhava. And if you get a samadhi anubhava, all your tendencies will get driven away one by one, bit by bit, bit by bit. That means it gives us a complete logical build-up of what happens in this yoga and how it happens. Yeah?
Can I ask a question, Mr. Rao, again? So sorry. I
Go ahead.
hope I can bother
Go
the
ahead.
other.
Yeah.
I'd like to know that if this is what this says, so like, is this what it is saying? Like we have habits, and with the habits, with our tendencies, we repeat the same thing over and over again. Is that what it is? I mean, very simplified way, kind of.
I'm sorry, come again?
So is that what it would mean if I really simplify it? That we have habits which form tendencies, and then to get behind that, maybe we should just change our habits. Would that be helpful? So we start to do things what we never done before, and what we always do over and over again throughout our whole life, just to go ahead and change it in practical, in practical life.
Yes, it is one way of defining, yes, of course, yes. Um, Tendencies happen because of the consequences of previous actions.
I see, yes.
Therefore, logically, another bunch of actions can negate those tendencies. In fact, it's a very important question you asked. My guru's guru used to explain this ties to the usual debate between free will and fate. He used to say there's only a time difference between free will and fate. For example, if there is a big nail completely drilled deep into a wall, right? How much effort required to pull it out depends upon the material of the wall, construction of the wall, the material of the nail, and number of strikes it has taken by the hammer to get into particular depth. Therefore, if you're able to have a bigger crowbar or whatever it is called, a bigger strength to pull it out, it will come. Therefore, fate is a consequence of previous actions. Free will is a tool to employ to get over the path of the fate. As simple as that. Likewise, tendencies, vasanas, are a consequence of all the actions, habitual. I think you used the very right word, habitual actions, which it is like a closed loop. A habit creates a tendency creates a habit.
Yeah.
Like, for example, it can be a very simple thing. For whatever reason, our tendency, we may always like to keep our coffee cup on the right hand side in a particular corner of the right hand corner of the table. If somebody moves that cup to another point of the table, we get disturbed. We will move it back.
Yes, that's right.
It doesn't matter wherever it is, but still we don't like it. That is a consequence of a previous habit. So yes, in fact, the entire, I mean, that's why I came out of the sharing because that's also getting great for you guys. Also, it connects very beautifully. That is why Citta Vrutii Nirodha is possible. Citta Vrutii happened because of tendencies. The tendencies happened because of all the actions we have done, habitual action we have done in all our previous lives. So what do we do then? Only an action can counter the consequence of previous action. What is the action you do? Ashtanga yoga is the action you do. How do you do that? All the steps are given. And in terms of detail, what are the things which happen before those get erased? You get this, you follow this, you pick up an object meditation, you meditate, you do hatha yoga to keep a big fit body, you do pranayama to control the mind, quieten the mind, you have right attitudes and right behavior with yama, niyama, etc. And lo and behold, samadhi happens. When samadhi happens, it starts burning out the residual tendencies. So slowly the coffee cap can be started moving from the right hand side of the corner to middle of the table, and you are not annoyed anymore. Yeah, we have seen this happen. Luckily, we are all not teenagers. We are all crossed quite a few years in our lives. We have seen that what you are today is very different what you were when you were teenage. We don't get angry for the same thing. We get angry for new things, but not for the same things. That is how it. Yes, Mary, go ahead.
Yeah, but we still get angry.
Yes,
That's,
I said that. I said
that's
that.
the thing, right? I just wanted to share my reflections on this. As soon as you read that, something hit me that recognized the truth in that. And I thought, this can't be taught like, like math can be taught in school, like a teacher teaches. This has to be experienced by me. And I realize how long it takes and how much it takes for any kind of shift. But there's something that recognizes it, and I've said that before, but I continue to, because it moves me so deeply when I recognize a truth in something. When I heard this sutra, I thought, there's truth. I know it's truth, but I can't live it in that sense. So that's the struggle.
Got it. That's the beauty, right? That is what is called experiential wisdom, which you mentioned, right? Anya Vishaya Prasadatva. What happens is when you see the point, you are not responding because you understand the words. You are responding because you feel what the words mean.
Yeah.
Because you have lived what the words assure. Therefore, it moves you. That's the word we see. That's all words we know only we can use, right? It moves you, say. Because it moves your consciousness and connects it back. In fact, sometimes some of these mere statements can take you into samadhi for a few microseconds and come back. Suddenly you freeze. Takes you there. That's what happens. I think one thing I want to assure all of you is this. Think of this. There are 7.5 billion or 8 billion people in the world. Right?
Wow.
How many millions out of the 8 billion people are even thinking like this? I don't think so. Maybe 10. How many people are able to say that when I hear this word, it moves me, the statement you made, and Miral said, I went far away. How many? Right? That must be a great reassurance for you. More to both of you and Miral, because at least for me and Manjula, we come from a background where these kind of books and gurus are available in every town, everywhere.
So lucky.
Yeah.
You're so lucky.
I don't know that. You are luckier. We are lucky, no doubt, but you are luckier because in spite of not having those kind of gurus in every corner of the town, you have come this far. Why? Because all of us must remember one thing. Ishvara, remember the Ishvara definition in a few slokas before this, we talked about Ishvara, right? Ishvara is resident in everybody. He is the real guru. That's what Patanjali Yoga Sutra itself said, if you remember the sutra, right?
Yeah.
He is there. That's why I tell you, you don't need to go. He is there. He will bring the Tiruvannamalai cave to you. If he wants you to have that experience, he will take you physically there. But if he decides that experience is irrelevant to you, however much you earn, you will not get it. But the important thing is not whether you get what you earn. The important thing is whether you get what you deserve.
Yeah.
That Ishvara judges.
True.
That is why we are always happy with whatever is given to us. This is, for example, you see, some of us went through this complex. I mean, we feel very, bunch of us, 10 of us, all MTech and MS and all kind of students. We are all disciples of Sringeri Acharya. We keep going all the time. And one amongst us who really took us there, he's a great, great yogi like Ramana Maharishi. He's as good as Ramana Maharishi. Excepting that, the Guru told him, you are not leaving your mother and father. As long as they are leaving, you are not leaving the house. And you are not taking sannyas. He forbade him from going. So he is as old as we are today. He is not left. His mother is dead, grandfather, everybody died. He's only living alone. But he's still the same yogi. He is doing his work in his apartment. He does. Occasionally he goes to Tiruvannamalai, etc. But he does. But the Guru so chose. And many of us used to feel terribly, terribly bad. We used to request the Guru, you have the power. Do some magic. Make us like him. I mean, believe me, these are the things we used to ask him. We are not able to even be 1 millionth of what that our own. In fact, he told us once, don't treat him as a friend. He is such an advanced yogi. If he touches you, you are liberated. You don't have to do anything. You are liberated. This is the endorsement which came from the Sringeri Acharya, who is considered the greatest guru in India. He told us. Then we asked, if he has got that the magical power that we can, by touching, you can get liberated. We want to be like him. Make us like him. He says, that is not possible. That is your life here as an individual will have to be lived the way you have brought. Vara we used to give, whatever boon we have got based on our actions. Ishvara has designed life for you. That you have to live. You won't live like him, but your destiny will be like him. But our thing is, after all, we are all ordinary guys, right? Oh my God, how much respects everybody respects him. Nobody respects us. If you make our life like him, everybody respect us also. So that is the problem. He did not choose this because he wanted to be respected.
Yeah.
He wanted to simply disappear. Even today, for that matter, though he's our own classmate and all the stuff, even today, it is very hard for me to meet when I go there. Once in 2-3 years only, he gives an appointment for me to see him. He will not. I mean, I don't know what to say. He is like Ramana Maharishi. He can build an ashram for himself. He will have like Sadguru Yogi. He can be a multimillionaire. He can go in best. He just doesn't want to. He never allowed us to photograph him. That's what he is. But we don't have to be like that. The most important thing is we don't have to be like this. We do not want to diminish Sadguru for what he is doing, driving a motorbike across Europe now. That is the life Ishvara designed for him. And what Sadguru teaches, Jaggi Vasudev teaches, he's also very high. I mean, he's a great yogi, no doubt about it. What he teaches is extraordinary high stuff he's teaching. But for whatever reason, Ishvara has designed a life for him like this. And for my so-called friend yogi, he's designed another life. And for me, this is the life given. It took 30, 40 years of struggle for us to accept this and be happy. It does not matter. We are happy for what is given to us. Really took long time. Decades it took for us to accept that. And think of another friend of mine who is grandson of Sringeri Acharya's elder brother. After all, they are all one family. They have brothers, they have sisters. This person went become a great yogi and head of great institution. Others lived a normal life. So that person, his sister's grandson, is a friend. Whenever I go to Bangalore, I see him. Think of his mental struggle. Quote unquote, his own grand uncle is a great yogi. Why can't he suddenly say, psh, and then like a magic give him all the. He told him, don't worry. Your life is not meant for like that. You live your normal life. But I can bless you. Your end destiny, you will get liberated. Your focus has to be that, not this. So we have seen, my life has taken me across variety of people, is such a spectrum, and all getting aligned because of that person, that guru is orchestrating. And today, at this age, after 45 years of hanging around with this all kind of people, I can see we are a network of people. Many of us went to different, somebody's in Hong Kong, somebody's in Europe, a lot of us in USA and all the stuff. We all went different directions in our ordinary life. And suddenly we are converging again. And then we discover each one of us have been a nucleus around which 10, 20, 30 people, 40 people, 100 people have benefited. Not because we wanted to think that I am going to teach. No. It so happened, conversation happened, this happened, that happened. And suddenly we discover, oh my God, such a ordinary person like us can influence others. Then we understood we are not influencing others. We are being used as a tool, as a vehicle to influence others by Guru. Ishvara ultimately. It is Ishvara's decision, Guru's decision that I have to talk to you. Whatever little benefit you are getting out of it is not because of me. But then ideas, advice, methodologies can only be taught to a human being by another human being. It can't come directly unless you are a great rishi. We are not, your definition of rishi means straight away from quote unquote from the sky, you will get all the knowledge which is necessary. We are not like that. If we need another human intervention, which means another body is required. A body which talks your language is required. That's all is required. Whether that body knows good enough, bad enough, doesn't matter. You matter more than me. Therefore, Guru has chosen me to say these things to you. That way, I detach myself from either thinking too high of myself or too humble of myself. I don't want to think humble of myself either. Nothing. I think nothing. I don't prepare to the words which I am talking. As you ask, I answer. How does it come? Ideas, words come. Somebody is giving me, I'm not thinking. Mirla is asking something, you are asking something, Manjula is asking something. I don't know the answer, it comes. My body, my mind, my mouth is being used. With that, I'm happy with that. That is how it works. Unburden, that's why I keep saying, unburden yourself. Demolish all the notions you have about what is right, what is wrong, what is good, what is bad, what is great, what is not great. Forget about all those things. All are Citta Vrittis. Even wanting to do good is a Citta Vritti. Wanting to harm somebody is a Citta Vritti. The whole yoga is all about eliminating, sublimating this. Then the corollary question is, does it mean that something good should not be done to others? No. Something good will be done if Ishvara decides that you have to, like Miral was asking, if Miral has to become an atom, get into somebody's molecule and change the electronic structure there, it will happen at Ishvara's will, not at Miral's will. Our attempt should be to prepare ourselves. What is the preparation? As much as for good yama, niyama, all those things. Yoga we do, so asama we keep meditation, and as much as possible, keep a neutral mind. That is the exercise.
Can I say something, Mr. Rao, about this?
Yes, please.
So to get back to number 50 and what you just said, the reason why I think yoga is so very important, of course, we are so utterly grateful beyond words to you to teach us about the sutras, but also it's the practice. Because I believe in that if someone practices yoga, the body becomes more and more symmetrical. And as the body becomes, because we use it equally, as the body becomes more and more symmetrical, the brain becomes more and more symmetrical. And as the brain becomes more and more symmetrical, so I feel the difference between my right and left side, as the brain becomes more and more symmetrical and the body, because of the body and the practice, I think all the tendencies, I feel that they fall away by themselves. And that's why I believe in so much in practice, asana practice. So it will fall away on its own, and then with ease, like over time, someone can really get into meditation practice and can understand on a practical, like through experience, all of these teaching, which is in the Yoga Sutra.
Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. Any concluding remarks by Mary and Manjula?
Asana practice for me is very much related to prana, because I observe how it doesn't matter what asana I'm doing, but it's more that there's a sort of a cleansing feeling, and then the breath becomes so subtle and so long and so deep, and that's what that's for me right at this stage in my practice is so important. And then it leads me to my meditation, but it is a meditation in a way in itself.
Yep. Excellent. Manjula?
Yeah, to your point, like you mentioned that you are a source of information here for us. I really thank you for that, because, like, as you know, we could have gone to anybody for gathering such information, right? Why you, or why me coming to you, right? So that way we are fortunate to have you, and whatever information you can pass on. And again, like, we may not be able to grasp everything, at least a percentage of what you're teaching. So that really helps. So thank you for very much for whatever you are doing.
Thank you. Welcome. You're welcome. All right then. So we'll close for today, and all the best. Namaskar.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye,
Namaste.
everybody.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.